Yo, what's good everybody? How's it going? Raf here. Welcome back to another video of mine. Today on episode 4 of Retros of the Past, we're going to be taking a good look and exploring a shoe that, no joke, no exaggeration, I've wanted for almost a full decade. These came out 9 years ago, and the shoe that I'm talking about is the Nike Air Trainer Huaraches in the dark emerald and berry colorway. When I tell you I felt like a goddamn crackhead watching videos and looking at images of these before picking them up, man, I felt like a crackhead that needed his fix. And shout out to John, he's the one that sold these to me actually, went and picked them up at his crib. He's a dude that comes by my shop pretty often. He's an OG in the game actually. He's been collecting for a long time. He showed me some of the crazy cool stuff that he had. So shout out to him for that. Much love. I don't remember how much he sold these to me for, but they were lightly used, and I can guarantee you that he didn't charge me more than 100. It was actually either 80 or 100. I can't remember, but either of the two. Doesn't really matter. Got them for cheap. You know, if I can get a pair of shoes I've always wanted, even though they're worn, if they were lightly worn, I really don't mind, you know, just clean them up a little, that's it. You're good to go. But of course, I'm always gonna do my usual. I'm gonna talk about the history of the shoe, tell you about the tech specs that I'm aware of, and the reason I say this is because sometimes it's not always easy gathering and finding information on some of these old basketball shoes from the 90s and the 80s even. The information back then wasn't readily available, so sometimes you really have to dig deep, but it's all good. I love making these videos, getting all these shoes that I dreamed of getting when I was a kid. You know, I was just a teenager when I first saw these and I completely fell in love. So, and also the fact that I started working pretty late. Some of my friends started working at 16, I started working at 18. So that was what, 2019? So before 2019, unless it was my birthday or Christmas, I couldn't really cop anything of my own, even though sometimes my mom did spoil me. I will admit, shout out to my mom, but it was mostly on my birthdays and Christmas. But basically, throughout all those years, just tell yourself I missed out on a lot of crazy good stuff. Crazy good stuff, man. From like 2015 to like 2018 even, like there was some crazy stuff that I wish I would have picked up, but I couldn't. It's all good though. Without further ado, I'm gonna get right into it, tell you about the materials, the history of the shoe, and why I like them so much, of course, why they mean so much to me. So let's get into it, tell you about the materials. And these were labeled back then when they came out. They were labeled not only as a quick strike, but as a premium release. So not only were these more rare than usual, they were also equipped with better materials, and I can definitely attest to that. I can definitely vouch for that. You have two types of leather on the shoe. You have a smoother grain leather right here and a more tumbled sort of version right here, and on the back panels as well, you can see those little ripples in the leather. Really nice to see, because I always mention it, and it's because I mean it. Back then, if you were around, you know what I'm talking about. But Jordan and Nike just weren't using the best quality, so seeing stuff like this from a release that came out in this era, it's nice and refreshing to see. And I gotta say, these are really comfortable on feet. I've already worn them. These are a size 10.5. These are my true size, which I usually don't get in my Huarache shoes. Anything with a Huarache booty, I usually go half a size up, which would be 11, except for 7s and 8s. These are just too damn bulky, and if you add an extra 0.5 of just material and weight, it makes a difference. Trust me, it's really heavy. So I just stick to my true size. But anything else, I usually go half size up. These, I was scared they wouldn't fit properly, but they fit perfect. And like I said, the leather is really soft, so it's already broken in. It's been a long time since these were broken in, even though John didn't wear these often. That leather is just so supple. But it's nothing crazy though. Don't get excited. It's still Nike, but for that era, what I'm saying is that they're pretty good. And as far as the tech specs are concerned, honestly, I wish I could have found more, but I'm just gonna go ahead with what I know is that the OG Huaraches had a encapsulated air unit and heel unit. Wait, what did I say? I don't know what I just said, but they just had a heel air unit and a forefoot air unit. And the following year, in 92, basically what Nike was trying to do was expand the Huarache line. So in 91, the runners came out, designed by Tinker Hatfield, and in 92, they actually brought out a new designer, which is Eric Avar. And if you don't know, Eric Avar is super legendary. He designed a lot of crazy good pennies, the foam posits, for example, the penny ones. He also designed a lot of other good shoes, and I can't really think of any right now except a few Kobe's. I think he designed the Kobe 4, but he's a legend, and I just thought I would highlight his name. I just don't think it's seen or heard of enough in the sneaker game. So shout out to Mr. Avar creating such a beautiful shoe, and Tinker of course as well. And like I said, in 92 they were trying to expand the line, so they came out with the Air Trainer Huaraches and the Air Flight Huaraches. They both looked alike, but the Air Flight Huarache looked a lot more like the running version. This was clearly more of a training gym version with the big strap on the front and that I don't know how you want to call that, but that big piece of midsole. It's not soft like it's not Phylon. I don't quote me on that, but I'm guessing it has something to do with the gym. I'm sure, because you need like a flat surface or something. I don't know, but I suspect it has something to do with it. So yeah, I wish I could have found more, but I'm gonna assume that's what they have. And yeah, back in 92 there was a lot of good stuff coming out, man. And that shoe that I just named, the Air Flight and the Air Trainers, I have stories with both of those shoes which kind of are similar. But the Air Trainer, man, the reason why I fell in love with that shoe is because back in the day, and I mean even now, we're still best friends. Shout out to you if you're watching this, because I know you will be. You know who you are. But he was my best friend at the time, and he had some nice sneakers. You know, I wouldn't consider him a sneakerhead as much as I was, but you know, if he saw a nice pair of sneakers, he would buy them just because they look cool. He had a pair of Zig Techs back then, the Reeboks. Had a bunch of crazy cool stuff, actually, now that I think about it. But I wouldn't say he was a full-on sneakerhead. But sometimes he'd see stuff that I would rock and he would ask for it. And at first I'd say no. I usually didn't let people borrow my shoes, not even him. But eventually I caved in and I would let him borrow some of my shoes sometimes. He'd borrow them after a week and give them back after. All good. But I myself never asked for any of these shoes, although I thought they were cool. They were just not what I was rocking at the time. And at one point my friend just got a hit of, I don't know, 90s vintage basketball shoes in his vein, and it seems like he started buying all of them up, like old school Jordans, pennies. He had these, which is, it's coming up. He had these in the cool blue colorway. He got them at the outlets, actually. The same outlet that he got his pennies at. If you watch my penny video, you know about that story. But he got them at the outlets, and I just thought they were so cool. Something I had really never seen before. I just thought the strap was awesome, and that Raiders colorway, it sort of was like a black and grayish blue colorway. It was an OG colorway as well. There was a couple OG colorways of these, some really nice ones, some all suede with that dark emerald. They were awesome. They look cool. But these were my favorite OGs. Favorite. But the pair that I rocked back then was the cool blues. Rocked them to school for like a straight week. I just loved that shoe so much, and I just thought they were so comfortable. I think it's the first shoe that I ever tried that had like the Huarache inside, and just felt so nice. I could actually go a whole day in school without feeling pain. That was crazy to me, you know? And I never really acquired a pair until now. This is my first pair of that model, and I couldn't be happier. I finally have them after all these years. It was really heartbreaking for me to have to give them back at the end of the week to my friend, but hey, it's all good. I mean, now that I think about it, honestly, he probably would have been down to trade for some of my stuff. Maybe I could have had a pair of cool blue Air Trainers back then, who knows? But that's my personal story with that shoe. I'm just really happy to have it all in the collection. It just feels, it's just awesome, man. It feels like you're completing a part of the puzzle. I'm sure my sneakerheads can relate. It always feels nice to complete, not a set, but just acquire something that you've wanted for a long time. Like those Laney 5s that I did a video on before, man, like I can't even express how much I love that shoe and how happy I am to have them, man. And I think I mentioned it earlier in the video, but you know, that's what 23 is all about, is really getting all those shoes that I couldn't get when I was a kid, because I only started working at 18, like I mentioned. So missed out on a lot of shoes, man, and that's where I'm gonna leave it at for today. Really happy to have these pairs of shoes in my collection. I think I've said that like 10 freaking times, but I'm stoked. And thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you leave a like also, that would be much appreciated. Much love, and I'll see you guys when I see you. Take care of yourselves, guys. Thanks. Bye.